What is going on, everybody? How are we all doing? And welcome back today to the latest instalment of our F1 2016 Red Bull Career Mode. And today we are at the home Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix Silverstone, and it is a Grand Prix that I am super excited for. First and foremost, if you're still enjoying this series, enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on the video. If you did miss the last episode, which was a double sort of Grand Prix, that's the right way to word it, a double Grand Prix, 2 races in 1 episode, I will leave a link to that in the top right hand corner, so click on that and watch that back. I'm reverting back to just having 1 race in this episode because the double one I haven't actually uploaded live yet as I record this, but I just feel like 18 minutes it came out to, and I think that's a bit too long. So we're just going to be covering the 1 Grand Prix today, and that is Silverstone, like we've already mentioned. And Silverstone, like I said, it's pretty exciting. It's technically our home Grand Prix, and it also marks, I believe, the halfway point in the F1 calendar. So this is halfway house, and it's a great chance to see how we're doing so far in the championship, and sort of look ahead to the second half of the season and try and keep up the form that we've had, because before this race we finished 3rd in Austria. We won the race before that, which was, I can't remember what circuit, but we won a couple on the bounce before Austria, then we came 3rd. We are actually on some pretty fine form right now, but we're currently on our qualifying time. As you can see, you're just going to see us in Q3. Practice session once again, as usual, we managed to do the track acclimatisation and also the hot lap. Qualifying, we got through to Q3 really easily. It was very, very tight, and it was very difficult to call because there was loads of changing weather conditions throughout the qualifying sessions, throughout the practice sessions, and what doesn't help is the fact that we actually get stuck behind, I think it's Jenson Button here in qualifying, just in front of us. We're on a great lap right now. I think we were currently setting the pole time, we would currently be in first, but we just get stuck behind Jenson, who I love in real life, but he did not help us at all here on the final section of the track. And that cost us a little bit of time, but as you'll see in a second, he's still put in a pretty stellar lap. But yeah, very exciting. The championship's really tight at the moment. Every point matters. And as you can see, we finished the qualifying session in 2nd place. Really happy with that. Although Lewis Hamilton was on pole, it's going to be a very interesting race.
We're right back where it all began. The very first World Championship Grand Prix was held here at Silverstone in 1950, with Giuseppe Farina taking the top step of an all-Alfa Romeo podium. He earned 9 championship points that day on his way to the inaugural title. His winning total at the season's end, just 30 points. My, how times have changed. So let's see who can reach the top step of the modern podium today. So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and a Red Bull alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Rosberg, Raikkonen, Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo, Bottas, Massa, Sainz and Jenson Button, Alonso, Hülkenberg, Daniel Kvyat and Perez, Grosjean, Gutierrez, Jolyon Palmer and Marcus Ericsson, Magnussen and Nasser, Pascal Wehrlein and Rio Haryanto completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So as you can see, lads, we're sat on the grid, and I was talking just about the changing weather conditions throughout practice and qualifying. It had to be raining, it had to be pissing it down. It's a British Grand Prix, it's only right. You can see we pick our strategy, just a 1 stop, it's 26 laps, so we want to change our tyres point bang in the middle. That didn't make sense, bang in the middle is just what I meant. So we get fresh tyres for the second half of the race, but you can see from the off, we get a relatively good start, but not an amazing start. And one thing you'll note actually from real life if you watch F1 a lot is that Lewis Hamilton is fantastic in the rain, and I was wondering if that would transcend over into the game actually, and see if he'd be able to sort of put in blinding lap times in the rain like he does in real life. But you can see we take him over on literally, I think that's the 2nd corner of the track, and I was thinking our pace might just be too much for them on this track, because we've been decent in practice, we've been decent in qualifying, and one reason the rain is good is because it doesn't allow anyone to use DRS, and it shortens the advantage that Mercedes and Ferrari have got over us in terms of power basically, which is really handy. But they've still got the quicker car. We're arguably a little bit better in the corners, but like I say, on the whole, that brings the cars a lot closer together than they'd usually be, because obviously Mercedes and Ferrari both got much more powerful cars. I say much more, not much more, but better. And like I say, after that fantastic start, I was like, are we going to run away with this? But you see there, we nick the ball on the right hand side, we go in out to control, we managed to just about pull it back, but these conditions, lads, were extremely tricky. It wasn't like it's intermediate weather. You can see the top left, the tyres that everyone's using. It is wet weather. It is absolutely chucking it down. You're never going to have a race much wetter than this on this game. I don't think. It was absolutely peeing it down. And you can see we were kind of struggling. It was a lap of two halves really. The first couple of sectors, sublime. We go into second place, into first place. We're looking good, but then the third and fourth sector, mainly the third, we just had an absolute nightmare. We were really struggling on the track with the wet conditions. And what tends to happen actually, as it does in real life, as the race goes on, it tends to get a bit easier to manage because, of course, the tyres and the cars have been driving over the track. You end up getting little dry patches and little roots sort of cut into the wet, if that makes sense, where you can grip the road a little bit more. But the first couple of laps, it's just absolute chaos. But you might be able to tell already, me and Hamilton, we're just going out for a duel here. We've massively pulled away from the rest of the pack. Hamilton is, of course, currently the championship leader. We are currently in fourth place before this race, I believe. But yeah, me and Hamilton, just no one could match us. It was absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to jump forward now all the way to lap 6. You can see the gaps open up even more to Vettel, who was in third place at the time, I believe. We'd slowly caught up to Hamilton because he had pulled away a little bit after he had a bit of a scrappy final couple of sectors on the first lap. Took a while to catch him up, but we were gradually catching him in, reeling him in, and eventually we do manage to make the pass on this nice little left to right hand turn towards the end of the lap. If that had been the last lap, that would have been absolutely insane. But like I just said, we ended up being very much a Nidge plays Lewis Hamilton duel, if you like. You can see me putting the quickest lap of the race right there. We really did have fantastic pace on this circuit, particularly in the round. We seem to be handling it really well on the whole. You can see we kind of got that corner on the right hand side. This is a few laps forward now, lap 13 coming into pit. The reason I ended up cutting it was just because I was trying to defend that inside line so much after what happened in the Grand Prix in Austria, where Ricciardo sort of made a pass on the inside and blocked off the pits. I didn't want that to happen again, and I basically overcompensated. But you can see we've done 13 laps and me and Hamilton are just inseparable. The pace is so similar, it is absolutely ridiculous. I wasn't really able to pull away in his first stint. He wasn't able to pass me. It was just nip and tuck all the way around. I think I tended to be quicker in the first couple of sectors, but Hamilton had then catch me up on that main straight. Thank God he didn't have DRS, because if he did, he would be passing us like lightning every single time. And then we managed to open up a bit more of a gap. But we're coming out to the pits. We're in second place. The only other driver that stayed out was Daniel Ricciardo, and that's purely because I was in the pits, obviously, and he didn't want to get stuck behind me. But we're going to jump forward now to lap 16, which is 3 laps into the future now. Hamilton still right behind me, but this is kind of where the race went totally wrong for Ferrari. You can see, I think it's Sebastian Vettel here. We absolutely fly past him. He had an engine failure and had to withdraw from the race completely. He was, of course, our driver rival up to a couple of races ago. I should mention, actually, the new driver rival is Kimi Räikkönen, but he also ended up not finishing the race because he got disqualified. I've never seen that before in this game, a race disqualification, but he ended up being disqualified. I don't know what for. And you can see we jump forward to the end of the race now, because after that Vettel pass, we just pulled away from Hamilton. I don't exactly know what happened and why we pulled away from him, but we ended up, when the race had finished, being like 10 seconds ahead of him. Absolutely bizarre. I don't know if he spun out. If he did, it wasn't something that I saw. Well and truly viable because of the race conditions, but after what was an incredibly tense, close, wheel-to-wheel first section of the race, the second race was really boring. We pulled away and we just had to bring home the car. That's exactly what we did, and we bring home a win in the home Grand Prix for not only me, being British, being English, but of course for Red Bull, which the team I believe is based in Milton Keynes, so it's a double win. And I was so happy. Hamilton did still come in second, so if he did have a spin, he managed to recover it. Daniel Ricciardo came in third, so it was a very, very good weekend for Red Bull. But like I say, I'm not really sure what happened to Hamilton. He just dropped off out of nowhere, but we'll take the win. Our form, once again, lads, name is absolutely sublime. That is 3 race wins even in the last 4 races. And what this means for the title is absolutely crazy, because you'll see in a second, we are now leading the Drivers' Championships, but we are level on points with Lewis Hamilton, which is absolutely insane to think that halfway through this career mode, this championship, we are level. That is like, it couldn't be any closer. It's absolutely ridiculous. Constructors wise, we are still in second place. You might be, in fact I won't show it on here actually, you won't be able to see it on this screen because I don't scroll down, but you'll see Vettel and Räikkönen, neither of them finishing, which is a massive blow for Ferrari in the constructors and in the drivers. But you can see here, level on points with Lewis Hamilton, Rosberg in third. It really is sort of a 4-way battle right now. Räikkönen, of course, dropped off a little bit for the DNF in that race, but it's a 4-way battle between me, Räikkönen and the 2 Mercedes for the title, it would seem. And there you can see the constructors were in second place, quite a bit behind Mercedes, who of course have got the superior car this year, but still a fantastic episode. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a big thumbs up on it if you did. I will speak to you in the next instalment, lads. Nidge out.
Yo, he's Nidge, plays with big games, then player reviews are getting insane. He entertains while he elevates, his video quality resonates. On career mode, he got lots of vids uploading off and he's rocking it. He's got the confidence in all his commentaries. Videos range, they often vary. Got need for speed and a road to glory. Just watching vids, hey, you know the story. The content is underrated, I'm understating, so don't ignore the like and subscribe button to support the channel that keeps running. It takes 1 second, like it's free, it costs nothing. Peace.